Hey y'all, so I just wanted to share something that came to my mind today as I was reading Judges 7. And I just asked myself, why do we always try to make sense of God? And I don't mean like who God is, but more so what he can do and how he can do it. I don't know, it just came over my mind as I was reading Judges 7. And what happened in Judges 7 was that Gideon and his army, they were going to take over, they were going to attack the Midianites and take over their land. And God promised him that he would hand them over to him. And when the time came for them to take over, they literally didn't even fight them. They blew the horns, they broke clay jars, and they shouted, "A sword for the Lord." And literally their enemies turned against each other and started fighting and killing each other. So God handed them their victory. And I know in the story, like if you read the whole chapter, Gideon asked for a lot of confirmation. When God promised him, God told him that he would hand them over to him. And I know if I were Gideon, I would probably be like, how in the world is he going to do that? He even told him to send some of his men home in the army. And all he had was 300 or I think 100 men. And they didn't even have to fight because God fought their battle for them. And I just think that's so beautiful. And I also thought of how like we limit our belief when we try to make sense of how God can work a miracle, or when it comes down to the last few minutes, the last few hours before a deadline, and we're like, how is God going to provide? But he will do it, and it might not meet your deadline, but it'll be on his perfect timing. And I was just reminded of that in this text, and I thank God for bringing me revelation about that. But I just wanted to share, I just don't limit God. Like, we'll always try to imagine how he's going to do something, how he's going to work our situation out, turn our situation for good. But when we do that, we can't. God's thoughts are not our thoughts, and his ways are not our ways. He is the greatest to ever do. And we will never be able to really truly make sense of his power because we're just senseless mere humans. So I think the sooner that we let go of control and just let God be God, it'll be easier for us to trust in him and truly have faith in him. And remember, God is the author of time. Joshua told him, Lord, I need you to make this sun stand still. And he listened to him while he was fighting his battle and he was conquering his enemies. God made the sun stand still for about half a day. This is the kind of faith that we need, because there's nothing that God can't do. And the sooner that we realize that, the more we'll be able to tap into our faith, and our faith will grow and surpass the level that it's at right now. As long as we put limits on God, we're always going to have baby faith. I was watching Covered by God just a few minutes ago, and the speaker, Latrice Ryan, she said manifestation happens at the speed of our faith. And what does Hebrews 11:1 say? It says faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. So if we're believing and not expecting, then it's really useless. So believe with expectation. Your expectation is your confidence. And you can't have faith without having confidence that it will happen. So now when it comes down to, God providing, and it comes down to the last 24 hours, your rent is due next day and you don't have the funds, and it's looking like you're not going to have the money to pay your bills, Remind God of what he says in his word. Matthew chapter 6 said that, look at the birds. I feed them. I make sure they're fed. They don't even have to store food. They don't have to go hunting, but I take care of them. I watch over them. So how much more valuable are you that God would watch over you and take care of you and provide for you all that you need? So remind God of his word and wait on him. He will come through for you. It may not seem humanly possible, but God is not a man. So yeah, stay blessed.